What up, motherfuckers? Mr. Mad up in this bitch, coming at you with a Nintendo original DMG 01 backlight and Bivert chip installation video. So we got our Game Boy with the screen that falls off. We got all our tools necessary. We got our solder gun, a hot glue gun just in case, can of compressed air. We got the backlit screen right here. I got this off eBay for like, I don't know, 15 bucks or something. Came with the Bivert chip and 100 ohm resistor. I also picked up a glass screen. It's got the sticker shit, I think, on it, so it should just stick. I got my tri-wing bit, whatever the fuck, tri-wing shit that you can't see. Solder, wire clippers. I'm gonna use an old busted ass phone cable, charging cable thing for the Bivert chip. That's it, let's get started. All right, first things first, I wanna check the condition of the screen here. I'm gonna pop this in, pop some batteries in, and we're gonna see what the screen looks like to give you a comparison as well, once this is done, to see how it looked before and after, and also to see if we got any problems we need to fix, which I know we do. Like, if you can see this, that means the ribbon cable isn't fully connected because there's missing shit here. So let's now that that's that, I mean, this actually looks better because I got some light behind me showing the shit, but trust me, when it's not light behind you, it looks like shit. So let's get this thing popped open. All right, let's open this up. We need our tri-wing screwdriver. Remove this one, this screw, and those screws. All right, got all the screws out. I'm just gonna kind of dump them here. Make sure I got all of them. Now that the screws are fully removed, I'm gonna pop this open here. If you can see, there's a ribbon cable right here. Just kind of slide it out. All right, now that we got the back panel, or the front panel, I mean, I just want to remove this whole motherboard here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 screws. And I think my head is a little too big, that's what she said, but we'll check it out here. Okay, no, it's fine. So we're gonna remove these screws here. Once those screws are out, I just remove this from the front shell, so that we're left with the screen. Alright, so I plugged this ribbon cable back into the main board, I guess. Turn this on here is to show you what I'm talking about with this screen here. So you see how there's missing shit here? Basically, it's this ribbon cable. If you fuck with it, either you miss stuff or, you know, they come in and out. So what I'm gonna do is take my soldering iron and just kind of peel this back here and heat up this cable here to kind of reflow the solder. Hopefully it'll fix it. All right, as you can see, that's looking a lot better. Put the contrast all the way up. So that's kind of where you want everything. So basically, like I said, all I did was just kind of pass the soldering iron along the tip of that and kind of reflow that solder on the ribbon cable back into the screen so that we have the full connection going. Once you're happy that you have the connection that you're looking for, just turn the power off and disconnect everything. We're gonna start the backlight mod. Before we start with this, I do want to test to see if the backlight works, so I'm just gonna take 2 batteries, kind of just put the positive and negative together. Alright, so now we know that the backlight works. I'm just connecting it to the negative and positive of the battery, so we know that works. Now to start working on this, we need to remove this screw and this screw here. This gives us access to the LCD dot matrix panel. So let's go ahead and remove these 2 screws here. Now that that's done, as you can see, we got a little bit of flex room here. These are a razor blade or something. Pop this open. Now we have access to the back of this, which is pretty much all the room we have. And we have to peel this off of the back of the glass. I'm gonna start by getting a little bit of a razor blade edge in here. Just kind of peeling away. See where it starts to peel off. And then just slowly work your way away from the glass. Once you got that peeled out of there, you just have the clear LCD screen. You're gonna want to clean all this shit off right here. I used rubbing alcohol to help me get this off because it was really stuck on there. So I'm just gonna use rubbing alcohol and a Q-tip to clean the rest of this shit off under here. So it's nice and smooth and no residue on it. All right, once you got that shit peeled off and you're getting this cleaned up, you want this squeaky clean. Just use your Q-tip and your rubbing alcohol to get all the adhesive off. And you should end up with a very clean inside of your LCD. It's gonna take quite a few Q-tips and alcohol, maybe some paper towels, but it should be very clean. Maybe one spot here that I might need to touch up, but that's about it. I mean, you want it pretty clean. I think this is on the outside, or maybe not. So just make sure it's very clean like this, or cleaner. Hit it with your spray can of duster, you know, afterwards. Once that's clean to how we want it, you're gonna slip in the backlit panel basically right into here, and then we're just gonna kind of wedge it in there for now. So where these wires are, right around here and right around here, we're just gonna cut this little section off so that these wires can kind of sink into this frame here without protruding or doing anything weird. We got a marker here. We're just going to mark this little section right here and there. Those two little blue areas will be where I'm gonna cut. So I'm just gonna use a razor blade. So my plan of the razor blade wasn't really working too well. So what I did is undid these tabs here from these areas right here. There's these little plastic tabs. And I just kind of slid this off to the side. That way I can get at my little points here with just, you know, something to cut. All right, so I was able to cut this with my razor blade using this method. Which is good, and I just gotta put this back. All right, it took some finesse, but I managed to get it back where it needs to go. You just gotta snap it into place here. And now you'll see that we have room for the backlights with the cables. And everything fits perfectly into place here. The backlight cable's nice and tucked into the frame here. So I'm just gonna turn it on real quick just to make sure it works. All right, as you can see, the backlight is working. I just got the two batteries hooked up to it, positive, negative. It is working, so now we can solder it into the points where it needs to go. All right, now that we know that the backlight works, basically we're just gonna solder the positive red right here with the 100 ohm resistor. Negative is going to be soldered to this point right here. It's going to be the positive and negative. Once it's soldered here, I'm just going to have to solder this piece to that. So now I'm just going to have to clip this end right here and kind of wedge it to that thing there. I don't want to clip too much just in case I need more, but say right about here is good. This one's gonna go right there. Now that that's soldered on, I'm gonna test it out and make sure it works. And success. Screen looks a little weird though. See if the contrast will help. A little bit better. So this isn't bad on camera. I still gotta clean this shit and take off that protective film. But I wanna do the Bivert chip or whatever it's called. So we're going to do that next. All right, for the first part of the Bivert chip, which is this thing, you want to find these little dots. So these two right here, you're going to want to follow that little trace to where exactly it's connecting to right here. You're going to want to separate that tab from the board. that that's separated, we're just gonna get some old shitty wire and cut a little section off of it. I forgot to mention you'd want at least 5 wires about 2.5 inches long. Cut the ends off. So these are for the chip. Now that we got these pins lifted up, these 2 right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This one I fucked up. And we're just gonna get some tin on these wires. We're gonna wire this pin to the second leg on this chip, and the other pin to the 4th leg. And we're gonna wire those to here, this one and this one. We're just bypassing this with the chip. Right, after some trial and error, we finally got this thing to work. I fucked up one of these pins. I pulled the wrong pin. So make sure when you're pulling it, it's the 5th and 6th pin from this side. I had to make a little jumper cable from here to the dot it was going to, but basically the 5th pin is going to the 4th leg of the chip. The 6th pin is going to the 2nd pin of the chip. Then you're gonna wire a wire from pin 1 and pin 3. So pin 1 goes to the dot right here. That dot. It's the dot on the left side, I guess. And then pin 3 is gonna go to the dot on here. Ignore this red one. So don't do the red one. That's just the middle dot. I fucked up. Pin 7 is gonna go right here. Pin 14 is gonna go right here. It's kind of hard to see. It's a big mess. I suck at soldering apparently. I fucked all of that shit up, but it works, and I will show you what it looks like. So it works. It's just sloppy. So as you can see, the image is now biverted. The blacks were white, the whites were black. So now to reassemble everything, I'm gonna clean the housing. Got this shit taken apart, all the battery terminals. I might get rid of this because it's kind of disgusting looking. And then I'm gonna do the front side as well. Now that everything's apart, I cleaned it, so it's nice and sanitized. So I'm just gonna let it air dry for a little bit. And I did remove that nasty ass label. I was gonna remove the one on the battery cover, but I said fuck it, I'll leave it on. Looks ugly though. I decided to wrap the chip up so I could just kind of tuck it behind here. That way when I put it back in the board, it's not really in the way. So I'm gonna reassemble it like that and make sure it works. Alright, well, it's reassembled. It's a little bit, I mean, it fits, just a little bulgy right now, but I'm assuming once everything is together, it'll just kind of sit in place perfectly. So I did test it out. It works still with the screen, so that's good. Time to put everything back. And now just make sure you replace these little tiny screws into the ribbon cable to hold that into place. This little adhesive strip is dead, and I don't really have any more adhesive. I'm just gonna use like a piece of tape or something just to cover, you know, put that little strip on. But that's it, and then we're gonna assemble that to the front and go from there. Now to replace all the screws that we took out earlier. So it's pretty much everything that's circled. I think it's like 10 screws. And put everything back together after that. Alright, everything is back together. Now to just put this with this, get into business here. Just gonna couple this together. Alright, now that this bullshit's all reassembled, last thing on the agenda is install the glass screen. This one looks like it comes with some type of adhesive, so I'm hoping that's the case here, and it is. Pop it in. Peel this shit off. Now that that's put on there, time to fire her up. Cartridge in. I'm gonna turn the lights off for this. so you could see what it looks like in the dark. I had to get rid of the audio real quick. Yeah, I had to get rid of the audio because I didn't want any copyright claims. But this is it, the final product. And see the housing, it's nice and clean. Everything, I got a little bit of a mark there. But that everything's nice and clean, sanitized. The screen shows up very nice in a well-lit situation as well as in the dark. The contrast all the way up and get it to that little sweet spot, like right about here. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around to the end. If you haven't, just rate, comment, subscribe. That's it.